So I think, oh, brilliant. So it's worth encouraging them because I'm hoping that this General Assembly will be a lot more interesting than most have been in the past. So we will see what happens. Yeah, they're still coming in, they're flowing in. That's tremendous. So, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to what is, in effect, the last formal session of this incredible Congress. Before we actually start the main business of the General Assembly, I'd like to invite Dag Vango to step forward and perform a ceremony. Over to you, Dag.
Thank you, Miles. So this is about the Marie Nisser Award, which is taken out of the Marie Nisser Fund, which is managed by Jernkontoret, the Swedish branch organization of the iron and steel industry. And Marie Nisser left behind this fund in order to support young, promising scholars within the field of industrial heritage. And this is the first time we hand out this prize, and we waited until this moment of the TICCIH Congress, and TICCIH being 50 years and here in Kiruna. And during this week we have managed to select precisely that, a young promising scholar. And so I'm inviting Heyona Shin from Busan National University, hoping that she is in the audience, to come up here on stage, please. Thank you. Please stand here, Heyona. So I will read the motivation. So we are pleased to award Heyona Shin from Busan National University to the Marie Nisser Prize Award 2025 for her compelling presentation of her work entitled The Industrial Heritage of a Dead Empire and a Living Labor Union, Who Has the Sovereignty over an Industrial City. Shin's work stands out as innovative. By combining historical and contemporary social dynamics analysis, her research offers fresh insights into the role of labor unions in spaces marked by both industrial decay and labor resistance. The study is engaging, not only because of its scholarly qualities, but also its ability to provoke thought and discussion. The manner in which Shin connects history with the lived experience of workers today invites her audience to challenge conventional ideas about industrial cities, labor rights, and heritage protection. In Shin's work, passion and empathy for the community she studies is evident. Her narrative is both thoughtful and reflective, connecting her audience to issues on a human level as well as an academic level. And for these reasons, we believe that Shin's work exemplifies the qualities of engagement, clarity, and bold questioning that the Marie Nisser Award seeks to honor. So congratulations, Heyona Shin, for being a good scholar, and we wish you good luck in the continuation of your work. The award is in that envelope. This package here is an extra. So
합니다라도 그냥 뭐 편한 영어 하셔도 되고 또 한국어 하셔도 되고.
조선소에서 일하고 있는 하청 노동자들과 함께 하고 싶습니다.
I am working with some subtract workers who are in the sheepdogs, and yeah, I'm with solidarity. 투쟁, fight, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Doug, and many, many congratulations. So if you'll just bear with me for a second. Before I get going, I wanted us all to take a moment to reflect on the news and tidings we have heard from Ukraine over this last Congress, and also, whilst doing that, to reflect on the conflicts and terrible situations afflicting various parts of the world, not least Gaza and the West Bank, of course, and Palestine, but also in so many places across the world. And just as an example, Ivan will be familiar with the difficulties our project in Southeast Asia is facing with Myanmar, and we're actually trying to conduct a project where there is a terrible civil war. So I just thought it would be good for us all just to take a moment to, just a few seconds, to reflect on our sympathy and our, as we said, our will to support these people, and also the fact that the way TICCIH is going, the way our new board is going to be taking it, is we want to be a force for good and a force for world peace. So just take a moment of silence to show your solidarity. Thank you. And maybe a round of applause for our Ukrainian colleagues to say thank you for coming and sharing their news with us. Okay, I'm going to lift the mood by conducting some technical sabotage. So stand by, and I'm going to try and plug in my laptop. So forget the agenda, it's stuffed. We're just going to get this now. Oh, do you know what? It's a Mac. As all Mac people know, you have to use an old airline sponge bag to put all of your adapters in. So here we go. And they cost the earth. It's a real rip-off. Anyway. So here we are. So it falls to me as the current president to conduct the first two parts of the General Assembly agenda. And very fortunately, I've got the actual agenda on the other screen here, which means I might not deviate as badly as I could otherwise. So really, I wanted to kick off by welcoming you all to the General Assembly. This is a really good turnout, and so we're really pleased to be conducting it on this basis. In the past, it hasn't necessarily worked quite as well as this, so I'm hoping I haven't tempted Providence by saying something at this point. I want to thank so many people, but I also want to comment on this conference, because Marion and I came over a year ago to speak with Roina, Dag, Jenny, and the team, and we were introduced to this facility, and it looked really very impressive, but I don't think we could have guessed how well it would actually work. So it really, really has been a fantastic venue for us. And it's been an amazing opportunity to network. I haven't been at any TICCIH conference that's this network quite as well. The last few were great, but this has been amazing. And maybe it's just because of where I sit in the organization, but it's been absolutely marvelous. I've met so many new people. I think some of that might have to do with very strong beer, the conference beer that was produced and initially served in pouring rain, very akin to Scotland, early on in the Congress. And I have to say, it was very strong, but it was extremely nice. I promised not to have any after an overindulgence on the first night, but I had more last night, and I've actually survived. I talked on Monday about one thing industrial heritage can deliver is what I call Blade Runner moments, moments where other people wouldn't believe you. We've had lots of those in this Congress. Especially some of our trips yesterday was phenomenal. I'm surprised we didn't lose anybody actually off a cliff edge. It was really quite dramatic. And I'd like to thank the people. In fact, could you give them all a round of applause? They've looked after us so well. Somebody offered me a T-shirt half an hour ago and said, "What size are you?" When I arrived, I was a large, but after the beginning of my downfall was the reindeer gratin on Monday lunchtime, but since then I've gone up to extra large, so I've got one or two issues. But the other thing about the Blade Runner moments is, I said it on Monday, is it's not just places, it's people, and we've had quite a lot of personal Blade Runner moments as well. So that's been tremendous. And the Congress team, particularly Elizabeth, she's just been phenomenal. And we've been working with her for so long, and so many emails and so on, and she's just been there for us. So once again, and the singer chappie, whatever he's, Royner, who we didn't realize he was such a talented singer. The team, please give a round of applause also for the team. It's just been truly epic, yeah, unsurpassed in my opinion. And then we've got other TICCIH people. Before I thank the people in this picture, I would like to thank our treasurer, Leonor Medeiros, who sadly couldn't be with us because of a family illness. So it's a real shame she wasn't with us. She's taken over as treasurer for several years from David Worth before her, and is truly vital to the way we work, so we sorely miss her. But we did have with us the dynamic duo, and I think Daniel is still with us somewhere. Where are you, Daniel? There you are, Daniel. And Daniel's still rushing around doing stuff for us. And we have Bart there. They hadn't met before, our editor, but they've worked incredibly closely, particularly on the national reports. So they have been keeping us going. And the hidden force behind us has been Carla, who has, where is she? Where is Carla? Anyway, Carla, yes, she's at the back there. Carla has held everything together, but the extraordinary silent partner in all of this has been our technical genius, someone called Marion Steiner, seen here at the controls, at the back there. The amount of background work you've put in setting up live streaming as well, and all of that has been truly fantastic. So thank you. And here's just a reminder of this is Bart, and Bart is looking for contributions from all of you. That's important. The board, and particularly Marion. Now we're going to say a bit more about Marion a bit later in the agenda, but I just can't thank her enough, not only for the work that she's done, but the attention to detail, anticipation, and thinking. It's unparalleled. So thank you, Marion. You've been a true star. And other board members too. But there's one thing about this new phase of TICCIH has been everybody's been pulling their weight in some way, and without them we wouldn't have been able to progress the way we have. And one area in which we progressed very, very noticeably was the national reports, which have once again have gone up a notch in terms of quality. So that dynamic duo, the two M's of Mirhan and Mulshri, were a true force on this stage on Monday afternoon. And it was phenomenal just witnessing what's going on, albeit in a very brief form, throughout the world. Really, really extraordinary. Yeah. One thing about this Congress has been that we've been able to give out student grants, or travel grants rather, to assist people, many students, for example, to attend this Congress, and it's been tremendous. That too has taken a phenomenal amount of work by many of the same people on the team. And I'd like to salute them for doing that, but also to thank the donor who made this possible. And an important facet of that is that we'd like to do it again and do it better. And so if we would very much appreciate or encourage people to, if they are able, to donate funds for the next Congress and future Congresses, so that we can not only give out more grants, but give out better grants so that we can reach a wider group of people. So I'd like to please give a round of applause for the people who have managed the grants and to welcome those who received them. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is a rapid sort of run through what's happened in the last 3 years. And I'm going to forget things, and it's not easy to do this in such a short space of time. So I'm just going to highlight a few things, some of which I mentioned on Monday, which were real milestones. And one of them for me was the 10th Latin American Congress on Industrial Heritage in Mexico, which was absolutely phenomenal. And not least because I met a raccoon underneath a turbine in a hydro power station, which was apparently they are discouraged because they chew through cabling, but they're also symbolic of resistance during the Mexican Revolution, so they let them chew through cables. So and just a mind-blowing, amazing experience. And I'd like to just talk about one or two associated events. So TICCIH Poland was associated with the International Congress on Underground Mines, and they had the second Congress in 2023, and they're having another one in 2026. And just to highlight how important these organizations are, and in particular how strong TICCIH is in Poland. It was a truly amazing event. Now, Marion and I and several others, mostly with names beginning with M, were invited to Saudi Arabia to an incredible international workshop. And I'd like to pay tribute at this moment to Adnan. Would you stand up for a second? This is Adnan, Dr. Adnan. And he hosted what was a unique event and hopefully will lead to further events in the future. And as you can see, it was phenomenal in a recycled or reused industrial complex. And we really do hope it will be a seed from which flowers will flourish. So other partners with which we have a strong relationship include ERI. Some of you witnessed or saw the photographs of me getting stuck in a lift in this blast furnace, which was very exciting. But we signed an agreement with the European Route of Industrial Heritage just after the Montreal Congress in 2022. And that's a very important relationship. ERI has been involved with working industrial and mobile heritage initiatives where we're trying to secure the future of fossil fuels, a very, very small amount of fossil fuels just to keep our live heritage alive. And that's been spearheaded by various people well known to you, not least Piotr Gerber, who also won the European Heritage Award for his work in industrial heritage. So that's been interesting. One of the organizations we have a relationship is FIVA, Fédération Internationale des Véhicules Anciens, FIVA, and we were very lucky yesterday to have FIVA Norway's chair turn up and joined some of our sessions, and it was actually very useful. So, and we occasionally do an award with FIVA for industrial heritage preservation, and that was awarded last year to Auto World. So, and one or two familiar faces in those pictures. I wanted to mention, because is Mimi here? Hi, Mimi. So we've been having conversations because Mimi is president of FedEx Rail, which is the European Heritage Railway Federation, I think is a good word for it. And we believe that there is potential in the future to forge a similar close relationship, but we'll be talking about that later on with the board. We have had other really, really powerful partnerships that have been established, not least Nudisur, and that's been incredibly exciting. And others continue, not least the extraordinarily inspiring Incuna, based in Asturias in northern Spain, but global in its nature and activities. So that their conferences continue, and we continue to interact with them. We had TICCIH Portugal, which is promoting a global initiative many of you are involved with across the Hispanic-speaking world, but again, beyond that too. And that's been absolutely inspiring. So there have been at least two meetings of that, I think. And MAPAPI as well. And also we heard Annie, and the agreement was signed with Annie at this conference. We've just had our second online TICCIH Global meeting. Many of you participated in that, and this will be an important form of future platform. So that's significant. And last but not least, we have 2 new Industrial World Heritage sites since the last Congress. One is the TICCIH landscape of SARS hops in Czech Republic, and then most recently, congratulations to Japan on the inscription of Sado Island, an extraordinary gold mining complex. And we also have the initiative I mentioned earlier, which is the UNESCO Southeast Asia project. And many of you have already met Ivan, who's sitting here, who's been instrumental in the initiation of that. And we're very grateful to UNESCO for helping us map out industrial heritage, so far in 8 countries, because we're having difficulty with 3 of the 11. So that's me. That's my summary before we now move back onto the agenda and plug the right laptop in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. I need to say that again 10 times, as long as I can. We go on with the agenda of the General Assembly, communicating the results of this year's elections. I would like to call our headquarter technical secretary Daniel Schneider to join me on stage. He will communicate the results. I will briefly recall how we managed this. So this time, and the very first time in the history of TICCIH, thanks to brilliant ideas that were coming up in the board meetings, we decided to do the elections ahead of time of the Congress, to have not that stressful time during the Congress. We managed a process that took several months, and had the elections between August 1 and August 10. All brilliantly mastered by Daniel. So I leave you with Daniel to communicate the results.
Thank you, Marion, and thank you, Miles. And actually, before I give the election results, I want to thank both of you again for bringing me here for an amazing experience. Roina and everyone involved in the organization as well. I've loved my time here, and I want to thank all of you and everyone who's been in the Congress who's made it a wonderful experience. That's been the best part, is meeting so many of you who I haven't met before, having more extended conversations with people I've only talked to briefly before. It's been great. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. The results of I tallied the results of the 2025 TICCIH election. There were 23 eligible representatives to cast votes, and I tallied votes from 18 of those, and in fact, there would have been a 19th vote, but there was a technical error. That was my fault. So our percentage would have been even better, but we are substantially over quorum with a 78% participation rate as it was. And the election results were unanimous in favor of each of the proposals. And so I'm just going to, so it was 18 votes in favor, and then that was all the votes there was for each of these three proposals. And so I'll just list those three proposals and that were unanimously approved. The minutes of the 22 TICCIH General Assembly in Montreal was unanimously approved. The TICCIH Financial Report for 2022-2025, produced by Leonor Medeiros, was unanimously approved. And then the renewal of the TICCIH Board of Trustees, entailing an expansion and restructuring of the Board of Trustees, was also approved with 18 votes for and no votes against. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And just for your information, the detailed papers that are that amount of paper, I didn't put that in the PDF. This will come with the minutes of this General Assembly 2025. So you can have a look at the details. We move on to the next point on the agenda, which is the switch. Well, the official thanks and rewards to the leaving President and to the leaving Secretary General. Mr. President, it was a pleasure working with you over so many years, 6 years, and I really enjoyed it, and we had a lot of fun. And the good thing is that we will keep on having a lot of fun because you're not running away, you're staying on the board as part of the advisory team. And that is very important for me and also for the future board. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Secretary General. So, as I hinted a moment ago, an awful lot of what we've achieved over the last few years with me as president has really been a joint operation. I mean, totally. So I really can't claim so much of the credit for it, because it really has been a team job, and particularly Marion. Before I go on, just to give you an idea of differences in competency, I've forgotten to do something, which Marion reminded me this morning I needed to do. So that just tells you how much support I've needed. So I want to acknowledge those board members who, as a result of elections and their own personal decisions, are stepping down from the board and have served TICCIH incredibly well over the years. So I'd like to cite particularly Ian Stewart from Australia, who had to... and Ian, in particular, had to suffer the curse of time zone problems and always got the sort of graveyard slot at midnight during our online meetings. Helmut Albrecht. Helmut, where are you? Truly a giant in our world, and thank you so much. Jaime Migone Retic, who is unfortunately not here with us, from Chile. And as Marion said, I think nobody's going very far, and we will be relying upon their expertise in the future. Oh, and then there's Dag. Dag, you're escaping. So Dag Avango is also stepping down as a board member, but you're not allowed to escape fully. I'm sure we'll be working closely in the future. So I think that's that. And I have one, so this is us handing over, is it? It's really happening, yeah? Is it? Oh God, okay, so bear with me. I have a symbolic gift for you. This happened last time, so it's a very, very humble gift, but you need to, you know what it is. It's the official mining. Yeah. Okay. It isn't the same one we gave Pat last time. It's a new one. Yeah. So thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Miles. Okay. Oops. Too much emotion. Katarina, it's talking in Swedish. Öppna inställningar. Nej? I was staring the head on it. Yeah, wonderful. So we move on to point 5 on the agenda, which is that inaugurational speech of the new president, vision for TICCIH 21, work plan and teams for the term to come. So those of you who have been attending the global meeting we had on July 27 can now have a little rest, because I'm going to present exactly the same. That's just logic in a process where you transparently and anticipating things do it over and over again. The vision I presented to our membership globally online in July consists of several parts. So, program for the future, the work structure, and the team for the term of the next 3 years. I started working on this when, I guess, always over all of the 6 years I have been in charge, being Secretary General, and specifically since January or so, when I took on as President-elect, to think about how TICCIH should move forward. And one of the first points I came across that was a constant thing we have been discussing a lot with Esteban and the comms team and Daniel is the website, which is now more than 10 years old and totally out of date. You can see that in the back. So the old website, which is the current website, talks about what is TICCIH, news, activities, donate, memberships, campaign, publications, but we lack a lot of important content on that website. And I have made a draft version which looks, graphically speaking, very ugly, but the content of what needs to be there is in. So I would like to keep this short because I'm getting bored a little of talking so many times the same thing. But I think what is very important here to mention are the different things that need to be on our website to improve TICCIH's future in the next 50 years that are not there yet. And that is specifically the mission of TICCIH. Nothing is stated about that on our current website. The Charter of TICCIH, we have been mentioning it. We need a new TICCIH Charter for the 21st century. Services, what can TICCIH and what can TICCIH experts offer to the world? An experts pool, which will be a major thing within the new TICCIH, where I think we are working on already with people, senior experts like Massimo Brete and also Barry Gamble and Jaime Migone from Chile and others to develop that. I'll come back to that in more detail. We have the continuity of the community part, which is pretty much what is existing today. We should mention our partners and sponsors, starting with MTU, providing us with all the technology behind for free. That is stated somewhere, but in so little letters that this should be different. And we have a part of projects. TICCIH is already doing projects. We can think about many more in the future to come. And this can also be a source of income for a professional organization in the future. And the resources part, which is something like the typical thing where you just put all the things in a more organized way that have been accumulating over a decade of constant work on the website, like the TICCIH book, the bulletin, the thematic studies, and so on. Then these nice typical tools that every website always has, like the followers on social media, browse the bulletin. We have worked on an index of all the articles that ever have been published in the bulletin since number 1. So that is something to set up. Collaborate, donate, join the calendar, of course, a news archive or blog. And I would like at this point, before going into more details, to highlight the interactive parts or the promotion parts that will be very important strategically for TICCIH to have on the website. One, I already mentioned it, is the experts pool. So there the idea is really to highlight and promote all the work TICCIH experts or experts linked to TICCIH have been done over the past 50 years. Pretty much helping also a lot of sites to be included in the World Heritage List. That is something TICCIH should be proud of, is proud of, and it has to be stated and visible on the website. And that links quite directly in terms of experts, the people, to the part places. Our industrial World Heritage sites around the world that have been included in the list in very different conditions, or let's say starting from very different local contexts. So explaining this a little bit more to the public, where this initiative came from, which experts have been involved, where these sites are, and what the OUVs of these sites are, will be a very important thing to have on our website. It also allows industrial World Heritage sites to promote themselves via our website, which is also important for generating income for this very poor organization TICCIH is at the moment. And of course, there is, when you think it further, the possibility to intellectually, once you have all the industrial World Heritage sites together and rush through their OUVs, to make more visible the connecting points that exist between the sites. So we have been talking about throughout the Congress that in terms of industrial processes, no place is isolated. Always some goods, raw materials, people, ideas have been coming from elsewhere. And always people, raw materials, goods, products have been sold and moved elsewhere. So that is a very interesting project that I'm personally very intrigued about to be working on in the future. Going a little bit into details, mission, TICCIH has to state who we are, why we are there, why we should still be there in 50 years, let's say. We have to state that TICCIH is an independent, autonomous and solidary organization. and that our main mission is to create global understanding and to build peace, reconnecting, I already said that in my keynote earlier today, reconnecting with the founding motivation of UNESCO. Also, typical things, I have to say who the board is and who things or committees are that are linked to the board, like the scientific committee. TICCIH doesn't have at the moment, but we will set it up starting from tomorrow in the constitutive meeting of the new board. That is also a place where Dark will continue to be active, and other people. We will talk about that later on in the closing panel. We can give you more information how we plan to do that. Also, the statutes that we are revising still, it takes some time, so that will be done soon. And of course, a little bit about TICCIH history. We have gathered now together quite some great material preparing for this anniversary congress. So that should not be a major problem, and it should really be stated there. The new charter, the TICCIH Charter for the 21st century, I already mentioned that. We have to say what we do, what for and for whom. We want to keep all the former charters TICCIH has done, sometimes in collaboration with other organizations, because these are also very important historical documents that allow to reconstruct the intellectual development of the thinking about industrial heritage over the past 50 years. The new TICCIH Charter is a thing that we have been working on since Montreal 3 years ago. We have a commission that is working on that, that has got input also from other colleagues who are not board members. We are discussing in quite some different languages also, which is a very important point because in cultural context, concepts change, methodologies change, and the need to do it differently becomes obvious. So it also becomes obvious that this has not been possible to be finished up in 3 years because we had to include more people from the south and from the east, and we're now in the middle of this. Esperanza and I will go visit the TICCIH Spain colleagues in the end of September and have already meetings with the people from TICCIH Spain who contributed to this and have sent contributions and inspirations as well as other colleagues too. So the idea was from the beginning, from Montreal 3 years ago, that not only we want to draft something new, but we also want to discuss this. We need to discuss this in, let's say, in English, of course. We will discuss it a lot in Spanish or Italian, Portuguese, or whatever. We understand each other perfectly, these Latin languages. We also should talk about that in German, which is still another thing. French, I can also do quite a lot with Massimo. Actually, we're talking in French. But then we depend on our board members from China and from Taiwan and from India and from other places, like also Egypt, because there are languages, even if you speak so many, that you can't even read. So it's wonderful to have so many international and global people on board as of now. We can really be proud of that and hopefully get it done very soon to have a first draft. I insist on the draft because we always had the idea to then do some online meetings also to discuss some crucial points and find better words. So that's the point about the charter. Services, we have to say what we can offer and to whom. And this will actually be the breakdown from the new TICCIH Charter. I forgot to mention, well, I said that in the keynote earlier, the TICCIH Charter as of now is missing crucial things such as participation, inclusion, more immaterial things, communities and arts, all these interesting stuff that is so important in countries outside Europe. So there is a lot of series of work we can actually offer to people who need this. These can be consultancies, advocacy, training programs. We started to do that even. We can provide lead experts or recommend lead experts or ad hoc expertise. We can even, if need is, elaborate a work proposal for work plans and composition of work teams if somebody needs help finding the right people on a series of issues. And of course, strategies for regional development and surely quite some other things. For that, we will need to establish an experts pool where we list all the people that are able to do these different kinds of things, so that people can go to our experts pool when they're looking to find the right expert for what they need to be done. There are interesting models one could take as a reference, as for example the pool of experts of URBACT, which is the urban development program of the European Union, that has a very nice pool of experts with a very cleverly managed pool and certification process. So certifying experts will also be a future task where we'd surely have to set up a jury and where we also, according to models that you can see in other places, generate some income also to be able to manage this in the first place. So that is something very interesting we started working on. We can perhaps talk about that a little more. We have started to work on that with the new executive team and with Massimo again. We meet here, I guess, tomorrow to think that through a little more in details, but one could imagine like senior experts, middle career experts, and also mentor younger colleagues that have the talent and wish to become experts in the future. We have the community part. That's all that we have done and are doing as of now. So tell how people can get involved and meet worldwide. We have the membership platform on our technology linked to the website in the back end. That's good, but it can be much better. We have Esteban Vázquez Muñoz in Valparaíso, who is a real expert on that, and actually have already started with him to work on a layout of the new website, including a reorganization of the membership platform that should ease also internal communication in a more interactive way between members. There can be regional groups, national groups, thematic groups. This is also the place where people can find the promotion material, like our wonderful posters that we even made in northern Sami and Meänkieli, thanks to Roine and his people in the context of the Congress in Kiruna. We can imagine a burst for jobs and internships, because these are questions that regularly come in to the secretary at TICCIH.org email account. So again, we need to create some kind of income for TICCIH to be able to respond to all these kinds of inquiries that naturally arrive at an organization which is now 50 years old, a recognized, internationally known organization, And it has been a major effort over the past 6 years working on internationalizing and globalizing TICCIH to keep all this together. I could say it was a full-time job, a non-paid full-time job on top of my other full-time jobs. So this has to stop. And we will, I will show you in a minute how we are thinking to do this. Also, certification of events is a very important issue, so that always TICCIH is aware of things that are happening in TICCIH's name, that we can promote that properly, and also help to network where necessary. Partners and sponsors, to make clear and visible whom we work with and who supports TICCIH. So existing partnerships or partnerships that could be more intense in the future are with UNESCO, with ICOMOS, ICOTEC, ICOM, ICROM, ANI, ERI, Incuna, Nurisur, and surely some others. Sponsors, Michigan Tech is a major sponsor, but that could also be museums, governments, industrial World Heritage sites, and so on. And this is the place on the website where we could put their logos on, so in order to promote them and their projects and websites and their people. And of course, we have to prepare clear agreements for this kind of things. Projects is the idea that people that are looking for support in networking and expertise from TICCIH to make their project better can write to us in order to implement that and to build partnerships through projects where TICCIH could also receive some kind of overhead administration costs, so that again we can put people to work on that professionally. We have some projects that have started and that also need money. Particularly Guy, probably in the closing panel, when we talk a little bit about what we're doing and what we want to do in the future with the team, can say a little bit more on that. And our idea is to draw from these experiences to scale that up and develop an overall strategy for TICCIH of how these kind of projects should be set up and how financial agreements should be handled from our perspective. That will be an interesting process to set these guidelines out very clearly. Blah, blah, blah. Resources I already mentioned: TICCIH publications, the bulletin, the handbook, the historical charters, the thematic studies, the Congress proceedings, which is not a minor thing. And publications patronage by TICCIH, where people can send us their books and we will pass it through the scientific committee and see whether TICCIH can support that. We have done that recently with 2 books from Chile that have been peer-reviewed and so on, and other resources that will probably pop up. So that's a little bit the work program, and of course the work program has also a financial side and can only work if the financial side is well thought through. And I started to work on that. Namely with Francesco, who is a good counterpoint, also with Esperanza. With Moultrie we had some discussions, and I came about to think that it is so wonderful to have on the new board people that are business people, like freelancers, people with their own companies, so they know how to make a company profitable. I don't want to say that TICCIH should become a company, but we really have to make sure that we don't mess up our lives with working for free as much as I have been doing as Secretary General in the past. So this is one first intent, to put the income possibilities on one side and the expenses we will have on the other. And it will be very interesting to start talking this through in more detail with other people that are around in the TICCIH connections in different countries to make this more viable still. So somehow, and there I come back to the point I made at the beginning of my keynote speech, this is a shift in mindset. TICCIH is 50 years old, me too. TICCIH and I both have been happy to support industrial heritage initiatives and people and so on. But we both have the same problem that we cannot live from that, and somebody has to pay the rent, and the dog wants to eat something too. So that's about that. And there are also nice TICCIH senior experts around who help with this kind of change in cultural mindset. From the things I have been presenting, I tried to make this sketch of who could do what, because obviously that is a lot of work. And as you can see from this, I guess that many of you know this already. So there's a presidential team, not one, but 3 people. There's a strategy advice team of some senior people. You will meet them later on. There's an executive team to do also very specific tasks. There are regional secretaries, a figure that did not exist before. And this is good because they're closer to the territories and they speak the languages of these world regions. There's our staff, of course. There will be a scientific committee. There are special impact areas where we need to really put an effort and a concentrated effort on, like, the development of TICCIH projects, which is upcoming and every moment, like, can TICCIH support blah, 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 and we need that. Guidelines on that. And TICCIH use, of course, also. So what do we do in terms of mentoring and empowering and travel grants for young research and young professionals? And then there are, in more round shapes, because that is very important, the experts tool and the industrial world heritage sitemaps that I have already mentioned, where different kinds of people in and outside the board of TICCIH will be active. To sketch that like this that is my personal hope, a way to not have a new Secretary General who again would suffer over years from a workload that is difficult to survive. So my strategy to survive this was to motivate dear colleagues to join in. And then I asked permission to the board to enlarge the board. That's, I think, the next slide, yes. So as of now, until the elections of this year in August, the TICCIH board had 14 regular board members, and we had in Montreal co-opted 4 more people to do specific tasks, like, for example, Camilo as a commissioner for Latin America and the Caribbean, because he was hosting the Latin American TICCIH Congress and so on. And the board was happy to approve a resolution that I suggested that we should just enlarge the board. After that, we have received nominations to the board, and every one of the candidates had to submit a personal mission statement saying what they would like to contribute and what they would like to focus on. And I put all that together and looked at the special competences and profiles also of the board members who would continue. And then somehow, mysteriously magical, a number of 20 came out. And then I asked the board, why can't it just be 20? Because the world is bigger, we need more more feelings to the ground. And presenting this to the board was happy to just approve the resolution that the board unanimously decides to enlarge the TICCIH board to 20 regular members. And that is what we passed forward to the people who had the right to vote and was approved unanimously. So, yeah, that's actually it. We will, after the General Assembly, call on the people on this list that are still here in Kiruna so that we can, you can get to know them, they can introduce them, and the vice presidents, Molche Yoshi and Esperanza Rock, have prepared some questions so that we can talk a little bit, and there will also be the opportunity for you, certainly, to ask some questions. Given that this was the list, first approved by the board, then unanimously approved by the people who had the right to vote, I think this is the moment where it corresponds to me to say, I declare the new board officially open. With a bubble on the A of school. I like that from Lucy. So that's it. That was my presentation about the vision of the new president for the future to come. And I go back to the agenda. I already explained. We skip the point presentation of the new board. We do that in the closing panel. And we move on to the next point, which is motions to the General Assembly. TICCIH members? We're not yet done with the General Assembly. Yeah, if you need 5 minutes, we can interrupt the General Assembly for 5 minutes and then go on and do the final points that are on the agenda, which are motions to the General Assembly. We have 2. I will invite 2 people to come on the stage to present that shortly. I have some conference announcements to do. We have any other business, if there is any, and then that's it, and then we switch over to the closing panel. But that can be a continuous switch. So if you want to make the break now, no problem. Let's do it. 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes, and there's no coffee outside, so no excuse. Wonderful to see that you're actually coming back. So we move on. Next top on the agenda is motions to the General Assembly. We have received 2. So I would like to ask the 2 people concerned to come on the stage and perhaps in 5 minutes explain us what their respective motions are about. The first is Jana Freierstam, who sent us a motion called TICCIH and a Sustainable Future. I have it here actually, Jan, for your disposal. So come here.
Thank you. No, I had hoped not to have the responsibility to speak because these days, and I haven't really have the time or possibility to put down any words. This has been a very emotional Congress, I think. 25 years after my first presentation to the General Assembly. And this turning of TICCIH into a truly global organization has really, it's so important. But I've written a motion on TICCIH and a sustainable future, adding one more core to the board. Because I think also in the light of the globality of this organization, it's extremely important that we also adopt a climate environmental policy. Already in 2020, let's see, ICCIH declared a climate emergency, and during their last General Assembly or the second last in Sydney, they also extended this work into a general policy of ICCIH, and I believe it's urgent for TICCIH, especially since the work we are doing is concerned with the very fundamental cause of the climate crisis and the environmental difficulties of our age, which are truly global and common. So I have proposed to the board to work for creating and developing a policy for climate and sustainability. And I've written a report on this, summarizing the findings and the work of ICCIH. And, well, I would like to hand it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jan. I think we all agree that this is a very important topic to take over. What will happen next? This, as it has been presented at the General Assembly, will be in the minutes in its complete version. There is also a folder of annexes to this with a lot of very important and interesting material. And when we constitute the new board tomorrow in the board meeting, we will have here in Kiruna, we will have to define who's taking on or which team is taking on this task and what to do with it. So thank you, Jan, for pushing this topic forward. We have received a second motion to the General Assembly just yesterday. And I'm happy to invite Guy Poset to come to the stage and talk about his proposal. And this is the moment where I have to switch over to this. Do you know how to play it? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Marion. Thank you very much for everyone that's still here to to listen to the motion. As a few of our colleagues, I came here with my family, and from my experience, is the first time coming to an event, a congress, particularly so far away from home, with my beautiful wife and son, Benjamin and Rita. And you all heard about the incident that we had at our apartment that we were renting, when we received a notification that the apartment should be evacuated. And my son got really distressed, thinking that because in the afternoon that was on Monday, we were singing his happy birthday because it was his 5th birthday. So 9 o'clock in the evening, he got really distressed. And we decided, and we moved to a camping site, where is this place, which is gorgeous. And because of that, the next day I started thinking on how to include them more in what we are discussing. So in this process, I found out that many of the other parents, or a few of the other parents that came here, had tried to include the children in the activities that we were developing, but they also tried to do things in other places. And yesterday, it's where I met a few of them. We have just this picture, but we had much more contacts with the other parents. And yesterday, while we were having our dinner, they were having their party at the camping site. And they had an amazing time. My son loved, Benjamin loved, especially because they sing happy birthday for him in 6 languages. So it was a really good experience, and you can see that he had a blast. So my proposal, motion for the next TICCIH congresses is that we have, organize an initiative that I called TICCIH Family. The idea is to create. The logo is provisional because I'm not a designer. This I did like in 2 minutes. And my idea is to make the TICCIH congresses more family-friendly and inclusive. So the idea is to propose this initiative is to support researchers with children at the TICCIH congresses while creating meaningful and educational experiences for the next generation, inspired by the realization that participants already bring children to events, and by the personal experience at Kiruna 2025, this seeks to make this practice visible, supported, and structured. The program would provide safe, creative, and educationally rich activities for children, families, extended family, everyone that because we live in a moment where the concept of family is very broad, to connect each other through the Congress, and they would be connected in the activities of the TICCIH Congress and in the team, while addressing particularly gender imbalances in academia, supporting parenthood as compatible with research careers, and creating lasting partnerships with the hosting communities. So basically my rationale for thinking about this initiative would be that everyone that has children at some point face the uncertainty over how to take care of them during the event, leading to reduced participation or career limitations. Parenthood, particularly for women, as we all know, creates a structural disadvantage in academia, where conference attendance is crucial for career progression. The TICCIH Family Initiative aims to address these challenges by affirming that caring for children and family should not hinder academic participation, creating educational value for the family through age-appropriate engagement with industrial heritage, fostering generational learning and cross-cultural exchange, establishing TICCIH as an inclusive, forward-looking organization that supports the whole academic community. The initiative transforms a logistical challenge into an educational opportunity, making industrial heritage accessible for future generations while supporting current researchers. Basically, the strategy that I thought, and that is absolutely incomplete at the moment, it's just that I wrote this from Tuesday to yesterday, would be to develop with the local organizing committee and cultural partners, partnerships with schools, nurseries, museums, cultural centers to design friendly activities linked to the Congress subject. Develop workshops, storytelling, arts, play, adapted city tours run by educators, museums, and creative practitioners. Safe and accessible facilities within or near Congress's venues, integration into Congress's program with shared family activities, engagement with volunteers and heritage students to support delivery, and one of the things that I think it would be most important is to create replicability of this for future congresses and for national congresses. So in the end of each congress, there would be a toolkit developed for supporting the future events. I briefly thought in a time frame for strategy. It wouldn't take like 3 years to implement, but I think 12 to 18 months would be more than enough to establishing a working group, contacting partners, develop, think about the scope and the logistics, schedule, volunteers. During the Congress, delivering the program that was thought, and after the Congress, receiving feedback and effectively developing the toolkit. I think all of us can realize that there are clear benefits for the researchers, for the children, for the TICCIH itself, particularly because it would provide it a status of truly inclusive academic conferences where all ages and all families are viewed and supported, and it would support all that the researchers that engage directly with TICCIH. But also we have to think that it could be an opportunity for the host communities for educational resource development, enhancement of cultural programming, long-term partnership opportunities, and legacy contributions to the local heritage interpretation. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Guy. Amazing. As if you hadn't enough work. Wonderful. Same procedure. We will discuss this tomorrow in the board meeting and define the next steps to move on. So I will come back to this. Oh, agenda. So, we're coming to an end of the General Assembly. I have some information about future conferences of TICCIH. There are 2 points to mention. One is that we are supposed, continuing the schedule normally, always 1 year after the World Congress, to have a Latin American Congress. That's an old tradition that dates from the 1990s, I think it's the continent where we have the longest existing continental congresses within TICCIH. I think it will probably not be next year, but Camilo, our commissioner and new regional secretary for South America and the Caribbean, is in great contacts with colleagues in Colombia, and there is a very concrete possibility that we might take it there. So again, tomorrow, with the Latin people we have on the board, we will have a look into that in detail and will inform you in due time about the next steps concerning the next Latin American Congress. And the second point is, of course, where the next TICCIH World Congress will take place, to be scheduled for 2028. We have, until very recently, and this means weeks, been in the situation where we were really worried and a little bit stressed out because there was nobody around where we could think that they would like to be or to be happy to be hosting the next World Congress. And then things moved quite quickly. So as of now, we have a written bid received from Portugal, from colleagues from Porto, to organize the next World Congress. That is a very complete bid, wonderfully written, which was sent by email to me and to Miles a week before the Congress. And the two of the people who participated in this proposal have been here during the Congress. They're not here any longer because they had to return to their home country. I've talked to them and they are happy this proposal to be shared not only with the board, but also with other interested candidates. So that is one point. We have heard some rumors about Poland. I haven't seen that yet, yeah. So that we have received a proposal from Poland, wonderful. And we also have a declaration of interest from the Philippines that has been discussed in the Asia-Pacific regional meeting on Wednesday. So we are very obviously not in the condition to now announce where the next World Congress will take place, but that is not a problem at all, because we should really take our time to do this properly, as always. So what we decided to do and what we have been discussing with the people concerned is that we give time until the end of November for everyone to hand in a proper proposal. We can then look at, and in terms of comparability, it would probably be very helpful if the new board tomorrow gets its brains together to see if we can put some kind of a recommendation forward on what should go in the proposals. And as I said, the Portuguese colleagues are happy to share those, and I hope I guess the Polish people, colleagues too. So that is suddenly a very good situation for us, a relieving news. And thank you for the three of whom we know as of now for considering being our host of the next Congress. Thank you for that. So, anything more I should say about that? Not about that. Good. So, in that sense, point 10 of the agenda is done, because the date and the plate of the next meeting will depend on that, and we will inform that as early as possible. And now we come to any other business. Is there any other business from the audience? Good. Then I hand the microphone over to you, dear Mr. Ex-President, past President, Mr. Special Advisor. So you can close this down, or we do this together.
We do this together. Yeah, yeah. So if you hold it, and you can do the presenting, and I'm just going to explain. This is some of us, well, most all of us heard that this part of Sweden is home to a space program. That's correct, isn't it? Yeah. So we thought it would be appropriate to present to our university hosts, the team from the university, a sample of Scottish rocket fuel. And it is extremely strong. So Dag, on behalf of your colleagues at Luleå University of Technology, will you come forward and as a thank you from us for hosting us so beautifully, this is a gift to you to be handled extremely carefully.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Miles. Truly appreciate it. Thank you.
So that's it. That was the General Assembly. Thank you for being here. Don't go away, because after this now comes a very interesting part also, which is the closing panel, and which is the moment where you can see the new board and the ideas that we have and the faces that belong to the new board. So first of all, as I have been talking a lot today already, I would like to call on my Vice President Esperanza and Molshri to come on the stage and do this together with me as a team. Thank you for coming. Oh, and this, we could shut this off.
Maybe we can just put this on the screen so that
I don't have that on the computer.
I saw it. I saw it.
Right,
Yes,
this one. Good.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for this amazing collaborative work. Thank you for all the teams that we have been very enjoying all the presentations also and all the venues and everything. I'm very happy to be here. Well, as a team, I don't feel that I have to be alone here, but it's okay, I can understand. We can share this also. What we want to do in this last panel is just to invite each group to this place, just to get the sense of who we are. And of course, everyone can introduce themselves very briefly. Then we are very curious about what was the sense of the regional meetings. So also we're going to invite one coordinator of what we had in the, it was in Wednesday night, if I don't remember. And after that, Molshri will give us little words of the sense of these contributions. And well, at the end, we're going to just make something special for everyone, I guess. So we're going to start to invite to our ex-president, Miles, please, Massimo and Lucy. They will be our advisor to the presidential team and of course to everyone. Thank you for that. Yes. So, yeah, just a briefly word of who you are. So then the audience, of course, already know you, but in this advisor role, maybe it's nice to have few words in whatever language you feel. Which one? Which one to start? Massimo. Yeah, Massimo.
Okay, just a moment. I can give some comments on this. Yes. So First, I would like to express my regret for having attended only the final days of this extraordinary Congress in Kiruna. And my personal congratulations to the organizer. It was an excellent Congress. What I saw and heard was nevertheless sufficient to confirm that 2025 TICCIH Congress marks a true, profound turning point in the life of our association. It is perhaps too early to gauge the extent of the changes, but I believe their direction is sufficiently clear. I will list three of them. Globalization, first and foremost, is a major factor. This Congress shakes TICCIH's traditional geography. For the first time, Europe appears as a province of industrial heritage. Other regions of the world have entered the scene with their own historical legacy and new heritage strategies. The second aspect is generational and gender change. I'd like to compare group photos from past conferences with today's. I'm sure that it can't be provided a better visual demonstration of how much younger and more women the TICCIH community is today. The third aspect concerns the multiplicity of the themes and topics covered in the various sessions. However, despite their diversity, they share a common tone. Unlike my generation, the starting point is less the material asset of industrial heritage than the significance it holds in the history of the community to which it belongs. The third aspect concerns, however, despite their diversity, they share a common thread. Unlike my generation, there is a confusion, sorry. Then the significance it holds for the identity of the community to which it belongs. Valorization is no longer simply the best way to preserve it. Valorization becomes the program through which the community uses heritage to build its identity. This is what I learned from your speeches and presentations, and I have a huge debt of gratitude for this. Looking ahead, what are the deadlines facing TICCIH that I could contribute to? I'm thinking, first of all, of training. I don't mean organizing a TICCIH master degree. It is, or similar initiatives. I believe it is more important to jointly agree on the fundamental criteria for training a new expert, and then everyone will commit to applying them in their teaching activities. Another area that, in my opinion, should involve us in a major reworking effort concerns what to do with industrial heritage. My generation has exhausted itself trying to define the boundaries and methods of the adaptive reuse. I believe that its definition has been overly functional. Today, this approach is no longer sufficient. I believe it's TICCIH job to develop a new philosophy of reuse, open to participation and co-design. If our tasks also include reformulating the role of the expert, I think we should do so based on this new criteria. So I hope to be able to sustain this change that TICCIH will face in the next years. And I am very grateful for the honor to be included in the board, in the next board. Thank you.
I'm caught unguarded because I didn't prepare anything. Shall I introduce myself? I'm Lucie Morisset. Actually, Lucie K. Morisset. K is the name of my mother. It's quite important in the person I'm nowadays. K was not her name. Koenig was her name, but it's another thing. I should probably say first that I'm absolutely honored to be there, and actually it is with great modesty that I accept this task, because I do not know how the best I can be an advisor to the president. I am a university professor. I work with communities in Quebec a lot. I am past president of the Association of Critical Heritage Studies. Maybe that's why I'm here. And I'm also a member of the board of ICOMOS Canada. So in some kind of a way, I live in the two worlds, that we see here today, and that I think I would like to talk about. Everybody knows that I work, I think, because I said that this morning, I work on industrial heritage, thinking of ways to better establish a social justice. And I do believe that industrial heritage, more than any other heritage, for many reasons that I would not expand on here, industrial heritage is a tool to heal our communities that have felt in despair because of deindustrialization, in decolonization, in troubles, as I've shown this morning. So thinking about that and knowing that, and that is why I also work on a thing that I call the right to heritage, but that's another topic. One thing that I want to mention here is that I believe that from this really excellent Congress, we can see that the critical turn of TICCIH is something that has happened. It's a fact that we can witness. But this critical turn shouldn't be exclusive, as so many critical turns are. And my deepest belief is that one thing that we need to do today is to, yes, think that we need to build heritage for the community. But building heritage for the community means also involving the experts in building that community. The experts' role is absolutely needed, completely needed, in every aspect of what we call heritage and on how we build heritage. And this includes historian of architecture. I am an historian of architecture, historian of engineering, engineers. Who is an engineer here? Engineer, hidden engineer. Please raise your, thank you for being here. All those people who know, who care, are needed in building an industrial heritage that will be more just, more helpful, because we need to build the narrative, we need to build the knowledge, we need to build a caring knowledge, but we need to build, this means also that we need to build the knowledge. And to build the knowledge, we need all kinds of knowledge. And so we need all experts from the past, from the present, and from the future. And I think that this is absolutely seminal, because I've seen that in other research, in other heritage communities. I have seen experts being excluded, being thrown out of their usual path, because suddenly there's a critical turn and who needs expert? Well, I don't believe in that question. I think that if we want to be inclusive, we need to be inclusive. And I have to say that one of the greatest initiatives being inclusive that I've heard of in the past days is what Guy Pozler just presented to us, this TICCIH family. I was really amazed by that. Obviously, as a scientific advisor, I have no comment on this, but if I can advise on how to be inclusive, how to be critical, and how to promote social justice, I think that this is both an action and an example that we need to put forward. That's about it. So, thank you.
Hello, you know who I am. What I hope to bring is, in a good way, is 32 years of TICCIH baggage, but make it work for us. And it was very interesting talking to Mirhan a few minutes ago, a couple of hours ago, about some of the issues that we haven't got right in past congresses. For one thing, we haven't made it clear that anybody's allowed to come to the General Assembly, and we don't make it clear in the conference literature, so people have booked flights to leave before the General Assembly when we'd really rather they were with us today. So there's lots to learn. I bring with me links to ICOMOS, to World Heritage, to government agencies, that sort of thing, and experience dealing with the diplomatic side of cultural heritage. So I'm very happy, very, very happy to continue my relationship, and also to be in the green zone. For some reason, green seems to be a very good color up there. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are totally agree with your words. So I just want to ask you if you come back to your seats to call to the executive committee to this place, please. So the first one will be Francesco. It is him here. Thank you very much. And Leonor, it's not here. She is not here, unfortunately. I will call Kunt from Europe. Lucia also. You have to, it's not here, you're right. You have to teach me how to pronounce your name. Kunt, how is it?
I will tell.
How is
Knut.
Knut, there you go. Sorry, Knut. Yeah, so just...
Thank you. So my name is Knut, which can be hard to pronounce, I know, but that is my name. I'm sorry about that. And thank you very much. I'm very happy and honored to be taken into the board. I come from Norway, from the south of Norway, living in a little cute place there. I'm an historian. I've worked quite a lot in museums, but also done a lot of other things. So I'm kind of a all-arounder, I think. And now I work independently with mainly industrial heritage. And in the board now, I have not prepared a speech either, so this will be quite short as well, I think. But I'm put in the red zone, yes, in that committee, and it will be membership that will be my main focus and duty in the board. And I'm very, very eager, committed to work with that, and by that also working for TICCIH to become a more and more global organizations, more members all over the world in new countries, new members, new happy and enthusiastic members. So I'm now entering a train where people already have started discussing these matters, and so I'm joining that with a lot of enthusiasm myself, and also some ideas. We have done a little bit of work with that in Norway, and have some good experiences from that, where we have 5 doubles the numbers of members there, so maybe this kind of things we have done can work other places as well. Well, that's it. That's
Thank
it for
you,
me.
Knut.
Thank you.
I can pronounce it well. Yeah, it's just a spontaneous and briefly thing, so thank you very much. Francesco.
Hello. The only things I prepared is the color of my shirt. It's matching with the chair, so it's attention to the details. No, but maybe you see me going around like an old guy with clothes like a child. So I'm that one with a yellow jacket around the Congress. I'm very happy to be here under the sun. Some problem with my eyes, so it's not tears of emotion because I'm not an emotional person. But in reality, a little bit of emotion there are, because I think just 20 years ago I joined the family of TICCIH for the first time during the Italian Congress in the Terni edition. So yeah, a little bit of emotion there, and I'm very happy to be here. The important part of this title is not director, but is the word before, executive. So I try to do something directly, straight to the point. We have to not to lose time to do things. I'm very happy to be in this red zone, not for the color, but with the company and the mates of the team, like Knut, like Lucia, that is now in Chile, but it's working from years in communication of the TICCIH, and Leonor, it's very into economic question. So nothing else. I don't know now for sure and precisely what will be, but I assure to all of you that I'm pleased to listen your ideas, and to try to get more concrete to pass from idea to reality. I appreciated very well the idea of Guy, because for me, in my opinion, it's the right way to do things from now to the future. So when you want, I'm stay here till Monday in the evening if I catch the plane before Roine. You host me for I don't know how many days. And I'm here to listen to you, and we tried all together to do good things for TICCIH family from now to 28. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesco. So, as Francesco already says, Leonor is from Portugal, and she is also in a programmatic work. She has been doing a very beautiful work. And Lucia Sanchez, who is from Venezuela, living in Chile also, and she is part of the communication director, the website and the social media. So, if they are looking us by the screaming, we just say thank you through the scream. So thank you very much. We're going to pass forward to the regional secretary. So Mutri, please.
I'd like to now call upon the regional secretaries and people in charge of special impact areas, starting with Mirhan Damir. You are here. representing and connecting North Africa and Arabic region. We also have Camilo Contreras, working with America, and Bartosz is here from Poland, and he will talk about Europe. And we have Zhao Lin, who will talk about the entire Asian community and the representation. Yiping has already left for the airport, so Zhao will cover that. Can we begin with you, Camilo? Yes?
Thank you.
Okay. Or if you would like to.
Why? But it's only the presentation. Sorry, it's only the presentation or the summary of the region? Yes, okay.
Please, just a few lines as a summary of your meeting and the vision.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Camilo Contreras from Mexico, but in this year I live in Colombia, and I visiting some South American countries where TICCIH has a very little presence. This is my mission in this year. And I present the resume of our meeting of the Wednesday. Yeah. We were 11 attends. Brazil, Canada, Chile, US, Mexico, and Uruguay. This was our meeting. And the points and our agenda was the presentation of the attendees and general comments on the presence of and absence of TICCIH in the Americas. However, we have found that there is an important academic and museum work on industrial work in some countries in the region where little know about TICCIH. The challenge is to connect. Second point, a proposal for maintaining constant connection with an emphasis on countries with a smaller presence. The third, the National University of Colombia announced its interest in holding the 11th Latin American Colloquium in Industrial Heritage in 2026. And we spoken about to announce of the MAPAPI project. Well, our arguments or our strategies was, it is agreed to hold a remote regional seminar, the details to be determined, definition of an editorial committee, frequency, topics, etc., will start in 2026. It is agreed to publish a regional bulletin, again, the details to be determined, editorial committee, frequency, section, etc., will start in 2026. And it is agreed, this group, that support the proposal of the National University of Colombia, Medellin,
to the next Latin American Colloquium 2026. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Camilo.
Sorry. The authorities of the University of Columbia sent the proposal in this letter. Huh?
Okay, so we need to, you don't need to present it.
Yeah. No, only mention. Yeah.
Okay. You want to do that? In a few lines, you want to mention?
Well, this is in this letter. The director of the Mines faculty says that the university has the capacity and experience to organize this colloquium, and Medellin in Colombia is very good connected and very good infrastructure to receive a colloquium of this kind.
Thank you. Over to you, Bartosz.
Okay, thank you. I don't. Shall I introduce myself as well?
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. Mainly I'm a professor at the university, but I'm dealing with different aspects of industrial heritage since 1990s. I was involved in many projects. I was also working for heritage conservation offices and so forth. I have been member of TICCIH since 2001, and now I'm here, standing in front of you as a newly selected regional secretary. And I was co-chairing the meeting along with our past president, Miles Oglethorpe. And there were 51 people attending the regional meeting of TICCIH Europe. So perhaps it is not a surprise that there are so many visions of what is TICCIH Europe, or what it should be, as there were people attending this meeting. And therefore, discussion was tough at some points, which I personally perceive as a positive sign, since it means that we care for both TICCIH and the industrial heritage in Europe. And finally, we decided that the outcome of our meeting is that we ask for a group of volunteers who form a, let's say, working committee for preparing content and our meeting in next year, which we hope clarify our vision and framework for further cooperation in Europe. And that's it from us.
Thank you, Mirhan. You have a few minutes.
Please. Sorry for that, Shaiwei. Hello, everyone. Oops. I hope you still remember me. I'm Mirhan Damir from the National Report Session that I co-chaired with Murshi Joshi, now hiding behind the curtains. I'm Mirhan Damir. I'm a lecturer at the Alexandria University in Egypt, teaching, among others, architecture, urban studies, history of architecture. And I'm also an industrial heritage advocate, trying to reach out to several research, governmental and NGO organizations all over Egypt, but also all over the Arab and African countries. I'm also recently joined the Heritage Commission in my hometown, the Alexandria Governorate. So I'm actually sitting with the big boys doing decisions regarding registering heritage buildings. A very interesting job. Now I have very challenging. Wish me luck. But recently, 2 new industrial heritage buildings registered. So hopefully more to come. First, thank you very much for appointing me as regional networks of Africa and Arab region, as well as special young people mentoring, the special impact areas. During our meeting for the Arab and African region, we were actually 3 people from 2 countries, with 2 additional guests from Turkey, so thank you for attending. The 3 participants from the Arab and African regions were from 2 countries, Egypt and Saudi Arabia. During the past conference in Montreal, there were 5 active people in the network of TICCIH or industrial heritage within the African and Arab region, but today, as we speak in 2025, the network has reached almost 15 people from 15 different countries. So we're taking small steps, but steady steps. 7 of these 15 countries are already TICCIH members, and the rest hopefully soon to join the TICCIH network. So during the meeting, I gave an overall panorama of what is happening actually in the African and Arab region. Huge geographic area with several challenges. Actually, what I hope for and what I've agreed, even connecting with the several representatives who unfortunately couldn't attend this Congress, and what I hope to do actually is not only connecting countries in that sense or continents, but generally connecting people and connecting narratives, among other things. One of the things that we hope to achieve is to make a connection between the linguistic challenges, Arabic and Anglophone and Francophone languages, of which I'm happy to speak 2.5 of them. One of the things that I hope you were able to see some of the presentations at the screen next to the toilets. So there were a lot of presenters from the Arab and African countries. So some of you actually came to me, not even from the Arab and African countries, but saw similarities in hopefully potential thematic groups and similar themes that could be further researched. So this is also something that I would love to do with this connection of people and themes. And what we also hope to do with the help of all the other representatives of the different regions is some sort of an equitable intellectual ownership of industrial heritage narratives and especially archives. I think this is also something that we need to do to enable more people from African and Arab countries to contribute to next congresses or publications in general. And last but not least, since we always have sessions named Heritage at Risk, what I also hope to do or hope to succeed somehow is to have is to work with these narratives at risk. So by safeguarding industrial heritage narratives in countries at risk amid political instability. So I'm not only hoping, and we all, I hope, we're not only working on building industrial heritage networks, but also striving to build resilient and resistant industrial heritage networks. And the focus is to strengthening them against fragility, political upheavals, funding shortages, which is also a huge topic, and societal indifferences, and last but not least, cultural erasure. Thank you very much.
Jaweh, over to you to talk about Asia and Pacific.
Hello, everyone. I'm Xiaowei, I'm professor in the university, and also I'm the chair for the Advisory Committee Board of Asia Network of Industrial Heritage. So basically, I work for the practical conservation of industrial heritage work and also try to build up linkage among the Asia region. And my phase with TICCIH is start from 2004. The first time I come to Norway in Stavanger, I met Miles. And I must say, today we talk about TICCIH family. And at that time, it does give me this kind of feeling because we have a lot of senior TICCIH members and give a very warm welcome to me because at that time, I'm still young and fresh. Yeah. So since then, I'm hooked on the TICCIH. Okay, so from 2006, 2009, I participate all the TICCIH Congress. And I must thank you for Italy. The first time I see the Taiwan's flag together with other country, it's really feel good. Yeah. So after that, I was elected as a board member at TICCIH and I continue work until now. Okay, so I'm a little emotional, it's 50 years time. All right, so today, last Wednesday, our regional meeting is quite constructive because compared to 2006's meeting in Italy, I think we only have less than 5 or less than 10 Asia people. But on Wednesday, we have more than 30 Asia participants here. And we have people from China, from Nepal, from Netherlands and the Philippines and Taiwan and Korea, of course, is a growing emerging group for us. So I can see the TICCIH's influence is already spread in the Asia world. And of course, also thank you to Mario mentioned about the TICCIH Congress 12. It's influenced a lot. Therefore, hold on a second, my note is disappeared. So on that day, we have 3 major conclusions. The first one is we did the mapping actor and the network. Yeah. So we will combine with the current ANI's networking to find out how to fill the gap, which country is missing. So we will put into our network and try to connect with more people. In fact, although this time we don't have people from Malaysia or Indonesia, but through the ANI's network, we already have a regular meeting with that. Yeah, and also Japan with a lot of contribution on this one. And the second thing is we are talking about possible research cooperations. So like scene studies. So the more concrete one at this moment is the sugarcane industry. Yeah, because this already have a linkage among the Asia countries. And we also would like to contribute more on the migration issues because some colonized countries has been also contributed to the European industry, have a two-sides interaction. And the third one will be about labor and the disaster side in Asia, which we also mentioned. Yeah. And the third point is we are going to making connection and sharing ongoing activities through our social media and networking. Although we already done that, but we will try to make it more connect with TICCIH's future network to make more TICCIH more known in Asia together. Okay, so I think that's all from what our regional report. If Mushi has more opinion, opinion can.
Thank you.
It is working, yeah. So we're going to call now. Thank you very much to everyone to make this abstract of what you have been talking. We're going to call to Guilherme Ponce from Brazil, Florence from France, Humberto, I think Daniel Daniel is here. Thank you. Bart is not here anymore. Stefan Vasquez is in the other side of the world. Neil, I don't know if it's Neil here. Eusebi and Patrick. No. Okay. So that's why we just call all the others. So just briefly, because we are running a little late now, just briefly tell you can maybe share with us what is your role, and of course this is part of what we feel it's important to meet each other, know who knocked the door, who wants, and all of that. So do you have that? Yeah, okay. Ooh, which one? Okay. Yeah, we're going.
So first of all, I would like to apologize to the ones that are tired to hearing my voice in the Congress, because I've been speaking a lot. I have an international background, and probably the idea that Marion presented before, that that TICCIH is moving from an international organization to a global community, is one of the things that was most attractive to participate in the board. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting and for accepting my candidate. The second thing is that about myself, I'm a historian. At the moment, I'm a Marie Curie Research Fellow in Germany at Ruhr University Bochum. Prior to that, I was a lecturer at the University of Sheffield, teaching digital cultural heritage, digital mapping for humanities. Prior to that, my PhD was in Portugal and Spain. And prior to that, I was my master's, and I was an undergrad in Brazil. So I think people, when they ask me where I'm from, I never know sometimes what to say. That's why I included some things in my because I felt that say that I'm only from the University of Bochum is not complete enough to tell my background and what I do, as I'm involved in several projects, one in Brazil, in the UK, and Germany, Spain, and now since January working closely with the MAPA-P project. And to synthesize probably what I think how I can contribute with the MAPA-P, with the participating in the board, I would say that some of the objectives of the MAPA-P are a synthesis of what developing projects with the TICCIH could be, which is enhancing collaboration, in this case global collaboration, promoting engagement with communities, different stakeholders, different participants, different citizens in general, and promoting understanding of our subjects and of our context, of our different contexts. Promote knowledge exchange and skill exchange between researchers, communities, stakeholders, and in general, just promoting collaboration. Thank you.
And through Florence.
Thank you very much. So I'm Florence Haché-Leroy. I'm a professor at the University of Artois of France. I think I am in, or I work for, or I am with industrial heritage since about 30 years now. I began my career in an international company who produces aluminium. And I was a historian in this company, and I was in charge of heritage. that was the beginning of a big and long history, and I'm still working on aluminium history and aluminium heritage today. I am a member of the board since now 10 years, I think, maybe 11. And I have been president of TICCIH France during 12 years. And as Miran, I'm a member of the National Commission in France who decided to classify the heritage, and particularly industrial heritage. And that gave me the opportunity to know and to see who does what in France, and to try to convince the political to help and to try to protect again and again industrial heritage. And few years, that is last year, I just finished a research national program about aluminium in architecture, where Lucy Morissette was there too, and our Michael Prunch too, and I don't know if here it is, from Germany. And it was also a very interesting project. So now, since grâce à, thanks to, sorry, Marion, je peux te parler en français. Le français est une des langues officielles de TICCIH. French is the official language of TICCIH as Spanish. And so Marion suggests to create this scientific committee. We has never been, we just have to work now, so we will begin the work tomorrow. So it's very difficult to say what we will down in this meeting, scientific committee. But the fact is that we have to promote research on industrial heritage everywhere in the world. We have to help to prepare funding project research. We have to encourage research where there is no enough research on industrial heritage, and particularly, I think, for the continent who is very absent, who is not there with us, it is Africa. Sorry? Is the lack of. And I think that we have a big work to do to convince our colleagues from Africa to come and to work with them. There are some who are working already on industrial heritage, but I think that it's really a shame that here there was not more researcher from this part of the universe. I agree with that. Okay, so that's all. I think that Umberto has also something to say for the scientific committee, please.
Thank you, Florence. Well, first of all, I am very honored to be part of this new scientific committee. This is a new commission in the TICCIH Board, and I thank to Marion Steiner for trusting me to be part of this new commission, and of course to my friend, he's not here, João Manuel Lopes Cordeiro, from the Minho University in Portugal, because he nominated me to be part of this new TICCIH Board. And well, I'm very glad to be here, especially for this new adventure to start up this scientific committee, and of course, in a kind of joint venture with my colleague, Florence Achille-Leroy. Not only because we are good friends, we met at least 10 years ago when she invited me to be part of the Love and Memory tribute to Professor Louis Bergeron in 2015 in Paris, in la Société d'encouragement de l'Industrie nationale à Paris. And later, my colleagues in Mexico invited Florence to visit northern Mexico. So we have a very, very close academic relationship. I'm specialized in textile industry, museums, and hydroelectric power plants in Mexico. I am economic historian, economic and social historian, and co-founder of the first TICCIH Mexico in 1995. And well, the first time I came to TICCIH was in 1994, 30 years ago, because my late professor, Louis Bergeron, in l'École des études anciennes sociales at Paris, invited me to participate in this Congress. And since then, I have continuously, with some exceptions, participating in these TICCIH Congresses. So I hope to do my best in this new goal, because a scientific committee needs to launch at first a scientific group that can manage the new publications and the new diffusion of our scientific works all over the world, because TICCIH now is in a new stage to diffuse all what we have done in the past congresses. Proceeding acts are very important, but we need to go further. We need to go to try to be in touch with specialized magazines in industrial heritage, technology, history of science, and of course we need to create scientific committees for our publications, specialized books, etc. And of course we need to make diffusion of our work to people in general, not specialized people, through our new networks and new social networks we have on the hand, as YouTube, etc., because now it's very important to be close and more close to young people, people that sometimes have heard about industrial heritage, but they really don't have a deep knowledge of what's going on. So thanks to all, especially to the new team, we are going to work very hard, and I am very sure that with Pogans and with these advisors that we have now, we will get, we will achieve this goal in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Humberto. So now, Daniel.
Thank you once again. Daniel Schneider from headquarters, and the best way to sum up what I do there, the only word that's coming to mind is kind of the clerical administrative work or the unsung work, but that last adjective doesn't really fit very well, because I'm always made to feel quite appreciated, and especially here at this Congress, I've not felt unsung. I've felt like I've been sung about quite a bit. And in any case, that's a side tangent. I didn't mean to go quite so far down, but in all likelihood, if you send an email to TICCIH initiating an inquiry, I'll probably be the person to receive it and either answer your question myself or pass it along to one of the members of TICCIH leadership or whomever you might be trying to get in contact with. Things of this nature. This work is one of 3 jobs that I do at Michigan Technological University. I do similar work for the Society for Industrial Archaeology, which is TICCIH USA, essentially, or actually officially. And I also do work in our archaeology lab at the Social Sciences Department at Michigan Technological University. And then my own personal work is art. I'm a book artist doing letterpress printing and book binding, and most of my work tends to pursue industrial themes. And so I don't have a lot to say about the future, except that I'm excited about the changes and initiatives that have been being discussed here in this meeting. I think that my role will probably change as those processes start to kick into high gear, and will be interested to see how that goes. I did want to say I've been working for TICCIH for close to 8 years by now, and so I've actually accumulated a decent amount of institutional knowledge, and so the things that I can help people with in connection with getting things done for TICCIH has been increasing because of that. And so the way I was going to put it is that I've happily become, I think, much more useful to TICCIH because of that accrued experience over time. But yeah, thank you all very much. That's what I have to say. So.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for all the work we have been doing together over the past years. We, of course, mentioned Bart Warnecke, who has already left Kiruna because he had to travel back, our fantastic bulletin editor. We also mentioned Esteban Vasquez again, who helps us with all the technical stuff that always drives Daniel so crazy, and then it's a lot of fun between the team. We would like to mention our live presidents, Neil Cossens, Oisibika Sanels, and Patrick Martin, who are always there when we need them to advise further. I would like to thank Carolina and Bodhi for being on the board, because I probably fell asleep a little bit and don't remember whether you mentioned them or not. And with those words, I would like to say thank you to you and stand up with you to now. Thank you. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you my wonderful vice presidents. Please come here. I would not have done this without these two women. You were my energy over the past years, so to say, and I'm very much looking forward to be working together with you over the next 3 years and above and beyond that, on the crucial things that we need to set up on the programmatic side and the strategic side, and talking with UNESCO and other partners that we will need very close to us in the future. Do you want to, each of you, say some words? We are tired, right? You are very known. You have been moderating the national report session together, Ms. Mehan. That was, of course, not a coincidence, but also to make you known, important people on the new board from the very beginning of the Congress. You have seen Esperanza also in a very important position, giving public lectures. That was, of course, also not a coincidence. And I must say thanks to you both and also to the whole team that you have been seeing over the past week, that I am in a very relaxed state, because it was possible to do all the election stuff before the Congress, and it went really well. And I was able to delegate things that just you took over, moderating panels and sessions and things in the backstage. So thank you so much for that. And I think I should not say thank you. I was thinking about that a lot over the past years, because you just don't thank you when it is a collaborative work. You just are happy that the workload is shared. And that is something I'm very much looking forward in the future. Thank you. Thank you. Thank Thank you all for being here still with us. Thank you also the local organizers of the Congress, because this is like the 1-minute closing ceremony part that I have to do. Thank you, Dag Avango and Roine Wiklund from Julia Technical University. Thank you, the organization committee. Thank you, TICCIH Sweden. Thank you, TICCIH Norway. Thank you as collaborating partners of the local organizers, Jern Kontoret, the Swedish National Heritage Board, LKB, the municipality of Kiruna, and a range of actors within industry and civil society in the Scandinavian North. as it says on the website of the Congress. So particularly to name that it was wonderful for us to have with us on the first day for the welcome addresses and for the welcome panel, Marty Blindberg, the president of the Svenska Samernas Riksförbund, SSR. You tell me how my Swedish pronunciation is. Hey. Josefine Ilipe from the National Association of Swedish Tornedalians, STRT. Mats Daveniko, the mayor of Kiruna. Susanne Tevin, the Director General of the Swedish National Heritage Board, and also Katarina Karlsson, representing the Swedish Iron and Steel Industries Trade Organization, sitting over there. Järnkontoret. And I hope that the next Congress we will have in Sweden, I speak fluently Sweden. Jag pratar svenska. Thank you so much. And let's have the Congress final dinner. And see you tomorrow if you're still there. And if not, see you in 3 years or hopefully much before that. Oh, before you go, please don't go. Please, all the board members that are still here, come on the stage. We need a group photo.